So here we have the Kobukan Curriculum. This is a 3-volume set. And so the first one deals with 9th, 8th, 7th Q material. The middle one, or the second one, deals with 6th, 5th, and 4th Q. And then the last one deals with 3rd, 2nd, and 1st Q. Interesting, it doesn't go to Shodan. So a lot of times these types of books, these kind of dojo curriculum books, will go all the way to Shodan. They'll give you the requirements and the ranking for Shodan. This one does not. This is just all Q level. Reading through the material here in the Shokyu, it tells us specifically that the material comes from Kukishinru, Kotoru, Gyokuru, and Tugakureru. If we look at the same information here in the Chukyu, we are told that this level begins to look at Shinden Fururu as well as looks like Kanoru Jiu-Jitsu. So slightly different than just Takamatsu Den. But as I've looked through, I really haven't seen anything that looks radically different than what is done in the Bujinkan and the other cons. For the Jokyu, it tells us that basically there's a continuation of looking at Kukishinru, especially the Teiwazagata, as well as the arm capturing principles of Gyokuru. If you read about the founder here, tells a little bit about his background. It does not say which organization he was part of. I have not found that yet. Maybe it's in here and I just missed it. It appears to me, looking at Shizenkan, looking at Genbukan, and looking at this material, that I think my guess is that this is an offshoot or a breakaway group from the Genbukan. This would be a Takamatsu Den curriculum. You've got the 3 books. The second one is the thinnest. The first one's fairly thick for this type of book, and then the last one is, again, it's pretty thick. This first one is the thickest. It has some introductory material in there, and then it has, at the end, it has like glossary of terms and some other material here, Q show points and the like. Let me just talk briefly about some of the things I like about it. These are, I like the colors. It's kind of neat colors. I like the format in terms of color photos. I'm a fan of that kind of thing. Gives you a breakdown of each level. Then it walks you through within color, these color photos. So I like that. The pages are okay. You know, it's a normal kind of thickness for a paper. They're not gloss. The photos they're not high quality. They're color photos, but they're not high quality photos. It's decent, again, especially for this kind of book. This kind of material here. And so there's a breakdown, discussion of each. Pretty much your classic book, or your classic. This is pretty much your classic style of dojo curriculum book. Okay, so I mean, overall I like it. What I don't like, I don't think it's necessary to have 3 volumes. You could have all 3 of these as a single volume. I think that would be perfectly fine. You could bind these together. You could have it as 1 volume. Why they're 3 volumes, I don't know. Maybe well, certainly they probably want you to buy each of them. You don't have to be part of the organization to get these, because I'm not. You can get these, I think, on Amazon. So it's not as if, it's kind of restricted to just get the first volume up until you get your 7th Q, and then you get the second volume, something like that. Why they're in 3 separate volumes, again, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. I think you could have it as a single volume. I also think the cost is over the top. I think if you are not part of this organization, if you're not part of the Kobukan, these books are not worth picking up. First of all, the material is pretty much the same material you get from all of the different cons that are out there. So there's not really a whole lot that's new. You might have some variations, but to be honest, a lot of these dojo manuals like this are like a modified Tenchi Jin. They have a lot of the same material from the Tenchi Jin. Sometimes they've added or removed some things, but I mean, if you've got the Tenchi Jin, you pretty much have the vast majority of the material in here, and you probably even have more. And they cost like $30 to $35 each, something like that. But I remember when I was buying them, I thought, that is way too expensive, especially for, this is super thin. This is not very big. None of these are very big. I don't think any of these are worth $30. I think if you bound them all together, they might be worth $30. I'd pay $30, $35 at the most. I think separate like this, you're looking at $15, maybe 10 or $15 each, I think would be a reasonable price. So, I don't think if you are not part of this organization, I don't think you should buy these at all. I don't think they're worth your money. However, now let me say this. However, if you are part of the organization, you definitely need to buy these. And they are worth the cost, because what you're really doing is you are supporting the organization. I get that. So if you are part of the Kobukan, these are a must-have. You've got to get these, right? You've got to get them. You're supporting the organization, and they are going to be your guide. If you're just the average martial artist, even if you're part of any of the Takamatsu Den schools, I would say pass on these. They're just way too expensive, and you don't really get anything new. So that's my 2 cents on it. Hopefully that's helpful.